To be a great seducer, you have to be interested in people. Seduction, there's a body language to it. There's a kind of nonverbal communication.
And so the key to seduction is to completely disguise the fact that you're seducing.
People are dying to be taken out of their lives, out of the banal day-to-day work, and to be taken on a ride. They want enchantment. They want some drama in their life. They want pleasure. You have to learn this new language of seduction.
A lot of people have a wrong attitude about seduction. They think that it's this kind of, almost like this formula that you need to learn. Like, I read Robert's book and I'm going to follow, rule 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm going to be able to seduce this woman or this man. I'd follow these certain practices and that'll have the proper effect. And what happens is, if you come across as someone who has kind of learned things from a book or who has a kind of a formula for seducing, it seems very cold, it seems very calculating. And we humans pick these things up. In the realm of seduction and in love, where a lot of it is nonverbal communication. And the sense that the other person is kind of being cold and logical and is kind of following certain ways to get to their goal, which is to sleep with us or whatever, is very off-putting, is very unseductive. And so the key to seduction is to completely disguise the fact that you're seducing. The person that you're involved with has no clue that you're doing anything. It seems so natural, so easy, so comfortable. And the idea is you have that quality in you. It's naturally in you. You also have a certain form of seduction that's natural to you. And in the art of seduction, I talk about these 9 types of seducers. There's the wraith, the siren, the dandy, the charmer, the natural, etc. You have one of these qualities. It's impossible. There's not a person on the planet who lacks at least one of them, right? It's in you. And probably you're not too aware of it, or you're afraid of it, or you're not putting it into action. You're not maximizing its power. And so the idea is you're going to learn what quality is that you have. If you're a natural, that means that there's a childlike quality in you. If you're a dandy, that means there's a slightly androgynous aspect to you. If you're a charmer, that means that you're a pleaser. You understand people and you're able to charm them by getting inside their spirit. If you're a charismatic, you have this incredible energy and confidence that draws people in. Whatever it is, you have one of those qualities, I guarantee you. The trick is to make it clearer to you, to make it more conscious. So you can kind of use this quality and bring it out more. Bring out more of your natural powers that are within you, right? It's like an actor who brings their personality to the role, and the director is trying to just kind of turn the volume up a little bit so it has a little more effect, a little more power, a little more influence on the audience. So you have that quality. It's in you. You just have to be more conscious of it, and you have to know what is about it that makes it seductive, right? So one of the types is a coquette. And a coquette is a person that has a little bit of inner coldness, that knows how to blow hot and cold. They know how to be very exciting one moment and then to withdraw another moment. And it's extremely powerful, seductive quality. It works in almost every single case, and I explain in the book why. So to understand that you are kind of a natural coquette, and what it is, the psychology involved, gives you tools for actually using it in a better way. And so when you take out these natural qualities and you bring them out more, and you're more aware of them, and you use them to better effect, the other person has no idea what you're doing, right? They just think it's you being you. And it is you being you, but just a little more conscious and a little more aware. And the moment that person is thinking about you and falls under your spell without realizing that you're seducing, the game is over. You've already won it. So that's sort of the key, I think, in seduction, to appear as natural as possible.
I tell people, when you go see a movie or you read a book, let's say a movie, and you feel like the movie is casting a spell on you. It's drawing you into the story, and it's having an emotional impact on you. And by the end of the movie, you're moved, or you're crying, or you're laughing, or whatever it is. That is a form of seduction where you've allowed your psychology to be penetrated by a director, a writer, or whomever, and you're seduced. And it's actually an amazing power that humans have. The problem is some people are closed to seduction. They don't want to be seduced. They're not interested in other people. I find seduction to be a very social phenomenon. To be a great seducer, you have to be interested in people. You have to there's a difference between a cold, kind of analytic, the typical sort of cold male seducer, which I talk about in the book, but I'm advocating a more sort of hot or warm seduction in which both people are seducing each other. You know, obviously men and women are different. Men tend to be seduced by visuals. The way a woman looks is sort of the primal way of seducing a man. Women are very prone to words, to just hearing, to the verbal aspect. And seducers, the typical Don Juan of the 17th century, which is where the whole Don Juan legend basically began, 15th, 16th century. They discovered that through language, through poetry, through casting a spell on a woman with their words, that this was the weakness that they had. And so many of these great early seducers were just great talkers. It's interesting because if you look at like some of the great ones in the 16th, 17th century, they were not handsome men. They were actually, one of them was physically repulsive, but had such an incredible way with words that he could seduce almost any woman. But these are the two sort of weaknesses that each gender has. I want to take you away from thinking of seduction as just the sort of thing that men do on women or women do on men. It's something that permeates our culture. It's in advertising, it's in marketing, it's on the internet, it's in politics. It's different. Obviously, a sexual seduction is not it's the same as Kennedy seducing the American public, but the dynamics, the casting of the spell, the enchantment has a similar process. So first of all, there's the desire to be a seducer, which a lot of people will say, oh, I don't want that, I'm not interested in that. And what I'd say in the book is remember the time that you experienced probably in your life when another person had fallen in love with you, and you sensed that you had power over them, that they were under your spell, that the things that you said excited them and interested in them. The walls, the resistance that people normally have are so frustrating. You can't reach your kids, you can't reach your wife, the people at work, they're closed to you. And in that moment when someone had fallen in love, that wall came down and you had this sort of back and forth electricity. It's amazing. You love it. It's powerful. It's great. You want that. You don't want the sexual version of it in your office, obviously, but you want to be able to persuade, to get people to lower some of their usual walls and resistance to you. So the first thing is you want seduction in your life. Believe me, you want it. The other thing is you have a misconception about seduction. It's not this, as you say, this villainous male, kind of figuring out these very cold, calculating strategies. That's not what it's about. There's got to be a naturalness to it. If you're someone that has calculated their way too much in the process of this is what I'm going to do, step A, B, and C, it's not seductive. People can read it. Seduction, there's a body language to it. There's a kind of nonverbal communication. And we sense that another person is trying too hard. They've read a book. They read The Art of Seduction and they're applying the 24 strategies. It doesn't work. You have to bring out natural qualities that you have. And I maintain in the book that every person has a kind of natural quality that makes them authentically seductive, whether it's the natural who's kind of childlike and spontaneous, or the rake or the siren or the ideal lover, whichever type it is, it's in you, it's latent, it wants to come out, and that's what will make you a good seducer. Why can't we just be natural and just do what comes, first thing to us? Why do I have to put effort into it? Why do I have to read a book? Well, the thing is, the fact that I say that seduction and romance is like a courtship. It's like a ritual that you'll see animals go through when they're in a mating ritual. Humans have the same thing. It's called courtship. It's called romance. It involves certain steps. It involves getting the other person excited about you and interested in you, etc. And the worst feeling in just the romantic part of seduction, let's just talk about that, is that the other person isn't putting out any effort. They're just being who they are. You go to their house and you have a date and they're just wearing their usual clothes and they've ordered pizza and there's no effort, there's no enchantment, there's no theater. People are dying to be taken out of their lives, out of the banal day-to-day work, and to be taken on a ride. They want enchantment. They want some drama in their life. They want pleasure. I talk about in the book, it's like a child. Seduction is reaching the child of everybody. And when you were a child, you were 1 year old, what was the greatest pleasure you had? It was being picked up by your father, your mother, and kind of whirled around and taken everywhere and lifted and twirled, etc. The sense that someone was taking you somewhere and you were under their control made you laugh. It gave you this incredible pleasure. And that's what happens when you see a movie and it takes you on this journey where you don't know where it's going, what's happening next. People don't have enough of that in their lives. Humans nowadays, we're too into words. We just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And a classic thing in the seduction realm will be a man or a woman saying, I love you. Like, when will they say, I love you, is a big deal. And all I try to tell in the book is, that's not the language of love. That's not the language of seduction. It's something nonverbal. You have to learn this new language of seduction. It has nothing to do with words. It's in your body language. It's in your actions. It's so much more powerful when the other person feels that you love them. Benjamin Disraeli is one of the greatest seducers ever. I mean, absolutely brilliant. First of all, consider this. He was a dark-skinned Jewish man in England who became prime minister. And imagine the prejudice against somebody like that in a country like that. How did he ever do it? Because he was a charmer, a seducer. He could seduce the birds out of the trees. He seduced Queen Victoria. She was madly in love with this dark-skinned Jewish man. And the whole art of it was, for Disraeli, was to make the other person feel like they were special, they were brilliant. There's this woman who said, after sitting next to Gladstone at dinner, I thought he was the most brilliant man in England. After sitting next to Disraeli at dinner, I thought I was the most brilliant woman in England. Gladstone irritated people because he was so argumentative, so superior. Disraeli charmed everyone because he made you feel like you were special, you were brilliant. And he gave you the sense that you were the star of the show. Here he took Queen Victoria, the most prudish, uptight woman you can imagine, and he had her completely under his thumb. She wrote a book, which nobody read because she wasn't a writer. But she had vanity, she has ego, everybody has ego. And so now Disraeli would refer to her, he would say, we authors, when we write, and he was a great writer, but he made her think that she was a writer like he was. I mean, the guy is one of the great seducers of all time. So getting back to the nonverbal aspect of seduction, there's words that you can use to reason with people, and there's a place for that, and it's important. And there are words that you use to cast a spell. So when we read poetry, when we read Shakespeare, we're not looking for rationality, for logic. We're looking for that spell, for that feeling, for that emotion. Human beings are not just logical animals. We're physical, we have bodies, and our emotions, our physicality responds to the physicality of the other person. So you, Barry, being very relaxed and open makes me feel relaxed. If you're all defensive and worried, makes me defensive and worried. These are the sort of the grammar of seduction that you have to learn.